Jaimi Jansen. That's me. And today our special guest is Sandi Jordan of Nubia Swimwear. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having us and giving us the chance to talk a little bit about what's going on right now in the village.
Yeah, so Nubia Swimwear, how long has it been around?
So we've been around for 35 years in the Capitola Village. Over the years, we've expanded down to Santa Cruz and back, and it's a family-run business. So now that we're getting older, it's great to have everybody in one location.
Nice. And so you're at 202 Capitola Village in Capitola, and you've been there for 35 years?
We've been there for 35 years. So Nubia is my mom. And by family business, we mean family business. My stepdad, he's referred to as the Bikini Whisperer. He's been there about 25 years as well. And one of the things we're known for is that we really specialize in fit, and we're just able to make it a really comfortable experience. Swimwear is not always the easiest thing, and we all come in different sizes, and we all have our special areas that we need to take care of, and so many suits that cover so many things that are fun. People kind of get the impression that a bikini is only this tiny thing, and there's wonderful suits out there that you would be happy in, and that's what we try to do.
That's awesome. And so tell me about your stepdad being a bikini whisperer. What does that mean?
So unlike us, we actually, the girls who work there, we will go in the room with you, we will help you. He's able in 2 seconds he knows in his head already what's going to look good on anybody. It's incredible. Even we always tease him because I have a very specific suit that I like to wear, and I'm stubborn. And he always says, you need to try that suit on that just came in. It's like, I have a million suits, I don't need to. And then when he's not working, I'll go and put it on, and God bless him if it doesn't fit perfectly.
Wow.
Yeah, he's just able to do that. Mm-hmm.
That's
He also
awesome.
designs. He designs his own line of swimwear as well. And when we started, there was a need for D-cup swimwear or fuller cup size swimwear. There really wasn't a lot of selection, and especially for a natural cup size. And so he's from Brazil, and so then he got into the end of actually designing, and in that area, double D E-cup swimwear. So we carry a line of that too.
That's awesome. So you are a swimwear company for all shapes and sizes. So there's not one stereotype.
Absolutely. No, we cover everybody from 2T to size 26.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And so your mom started it. What was the impetus behind starting this business?
She had moved to Brazil. She's not Brazilian, but she moved to Brazil and loved the country. She went on vacation, fell in love with the country, and she moved there when my sister and I were still in high school. And she came back and said, I'm moving. And at that time, which is so crazy, she was only 34, 35 years old. And to think of it, back then. And then so right away, I mean, Brazil is all about the bikini. And in those days, there wasn't a lot of importing of Brazilian bikinis. So she would come with her swimwear, and she started going to, because we live in this area, and started just doing consignment. And then from there got into a little bit of designing, and then eventually got a storefront in the village.
Wow. Then that's a pretty prime real estate in Capitola Village.
Yeah, it's always worked out for us. We started with a little tiny location, and it's gotten bigger and bigger over the years. In the 2010 flood, we ended up piggybacking into one store because they were different lines. We had like one upper scale kind of more designer swimwear, and then the Brazilian imports. And so we ended up piggybacking for a year, and it was just like a dream, because now, since we were all in one location, we were able to go attend family functions and do things on weekends where before it's two stores in the summertime, we really couldn't leave. Mm-hmm. So for the last 7 years, we've been in one location.
Nice. Sometimes like expanding is great, and then sometimes, like you said, reconsolidating can be even better.
Absolutely. It's worked out well for us. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So it's retail, so you haven't been open for a little while. Is that true?
We have been sleeping for almost 3 months. which is completely unheard of. We missed, our business is extremely seasonal. Even though we have year-round swimwear, it's still very seasonal. And the peak of our season, really, February was the best February we've had in the last 4 years. It was
Wow.
phenomenal. And then we were hit with COVID. One of the things that's really difficult in our industry is that we order everything almost a year in advance. So there was that rush to put it on hold, cancel. What's happening? Is this really happening? And so currently, we do have a lot of brand new merchandise in the store. And it was that race. Do we sell online again? We've had experience with that in the past, and it was really a lot more headache than it worked. You know, we're exploring about doing that again. Our website currently is a lookbook website where you can go and see the styles, and a lot of people call us and we'll do it over the phone. Because as you can imagine with swimwear and different companies, it's really hard to order online. I found that we'd be sending things back a lot more than would be successful. And I'd finally call somebody and it's like, let me send you a box. And then out of that box, but we went back and forth with shipping so many times before that would happen that, and you know, maybe we're a little old school too. There's just something about, you know, the person coming in and us being able to actually help them. But
Yeah,
of course,
it's boutique.
And but that's changing. So we are looking into the brick and mortar. I don't think is going to go away, but that experience is just as long as there's a beach, there's going to be a bathing suit store in town. I would imagine. I would hope so. And we don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon. It's what we do. So so that's the plan. So going forward, we just got the okay to open by appointment. We're allowed to have 2 or 3 people in the store at a time, and the last couple of days have gone fairly well. And not traditionally like with summertime, how that works for us.
Yeah.
Like how I said before, we missed all of spring break, which is 6 weeks, and that was a huge hit. And then Memorial Weekend, it was painful. I had a chance to go down there and look around, and there were so many people, tourists as confused as store owners. You know, you can see them looking out their doors and people walking around with the beaches and the benches and everything closed. So people were getting their food to go, but they were eating on top of meters. On top of, you can't, there's no benches. The grass is closed, the beach is closed. So there's all these people, I'm going to say probably only maybe 80% had masks on. A lot of the people who were tourists did not have masks on, and the sidewalks were, it was just chaos.
Wow.
So actually later on tonight, I'm also doing a Zoom with the county, and so we can find out something needs to be done, addressed about maybe going in one direction, you know, at least line up the sidewalks that way, because the people are going to come, whether we want them, whether we're making it unfriendly for them or not, because the beach parking lots are also closed.
Oh my goodness.
So there's a lot of traffic through the village and a lot of just like confusion as to what you can do and not do.
So you're gonna join a city council or a county call?
Yeah, it's the city council tonight. Tomorrow's the Capitola one, and tonight's the Santa Cruz, which is going to address the variants and.
Yeah. So are people calling and booking online, or how are they getting their appointments?
They are calling. So because we've been around a long time, we have a lot of customers that have been our customers for years, and so they're reaching out. DMing, calling, emailing, and letting us know when they can come in. And so I've reached out to all of them, and they've been coming down the last few days. I'm gonna be posting on Instagram more availability. I just wanted to get these few days kind of figure out how it is that we're doing and allow the people who've been waiting to come in.
Yeah. And so what is your Instagram?
At Nubia Swimwear.
Awesome. And so do you guys all design it, or is it just your stepdad that designs, and then you import? How does that work?
So that's actually a very, very small part of our business. We carry over 50 designer companies,
Oh, wow.
from surf to high-end resort. That might be changing too, but as of now, we still have those 50 companies and our merchandise from them. And it's literally anything from lap swimming to couture swimwear.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I can go and get my bathing suit for my tan lines, and I can go and get my bathing suit for my performance.
Absolutely. And we're huge fans of, we don't have traditional sales so much. We do have like a sales section once, like there's only a few in each suit, but mostly what we do is like if the person's there in the moment, it's like, I want those suits to go home with the people that they're working at, and I'll make it really friendly for you to help you
Nice.
want to take them. Currently, we're offering 20% off all of our swimwear. That's in stock. We also carry Ipanema shoewear, and we have a couple of hat companies, so those are also part of the sale. And our hope
Awesome.
is to move some of this merchandise that we've had there, and then to be able to start ordering again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard when you've got your rack stacked full of stuff, where to put it, and then also you need to have the cash flow to be able to order. So everyone's like,
Well, and
fashion is
having the
delayed.
beach closed is a big deficit to us, because when people would come, like they have their families at the beach and then they go shopping and come and get their suits. Well, people aren't able to sit anywhere. So it's really, I'm finding that it's locals that are coming in right now.
Okay.
It'll be nice when we can get more of the tourists back for where we are, because we're pretty much a tourist-driven village. And that's also
Yeah.
another thing I want to touch on. It's actually real. So what I would say to people, like if they want to support, and I don't just mean our store, it's any of the stores in our village. You know, one of the things that's really special about Capitola is that we do have that little quaint village vibe, and that includes all of us that are down there. And it's really sad to see that at least 5 locations I know for sure have closed during this and are not coming back.
In
And
the
there's a
village itself?
in
Just
the
in the
village
village, or?
itself. And
Okay.
there's well, because we were just coming out of winter, and
Right.
these people, a lot of those little shops really don't make the money, or they don't get flush until summer. And we completely met where they were just about to start feeling the tourist. That's
Uh-huh.
when everything shut down. So and for us too, I mean, having missed spring break is huge. Usually that goes like for about 6 weeks for us. That would have been the big push. It's like we're
Yeah.
already reordering by Memorial Day, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so people are either they weren't. I think they weren't able to receive merchandise. I haven't spoken to any of the ones that closed, because they've closed during it. They've just boarded up and said their goodbyes on notes. And
Wow.
but yeah, supporting anybody down there, there's so many great little shops down there. You know, people can go by or even check out websites, and that'd be great.
Yeah, it's really mind-blowing the amount of people who have been affected by this, and the amount of shops that are, like, what's it called? Silver Spur, I heard, was not going to reopen, and Gilda's on the Wharf is not going to
No.
reopen, and there's a yoga facility that's wanting to
Paradise
sell.
Grill in the
Really?
village, which is it's the best restaurant in Capitola Village by
Mm-hmm.
far. In the village, I mean, the Shadowbrook is great too, but I mean, I love Sotola, and there's a handful that I like, but that's the go-to great food environment every single time that you can send anybody to. Closed.
Wow. And it's not going to reopen?
It's not going to reopen.
Wow. Yeah. So have you been able to like get funding? And it sounds like you're getting support from the community as far as the appointment bookings. That's really awesome. I mean, I have lived in this town my whole life, and I never actually thought to go to Capitola Village for swimwear. And I didn't know that you had athletic
Mm-hmm.
performance swimwear. And I'm like, wow, I could use a new
Mm-hmm.
bathing suit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely come in and see us. I would love to help you. So wait, your other question, I'm sorry, what did you say right
Oh, so
before
it sounds
that?
like have you been able to receive any funding or anything like that from any of the local or
I know why I forgot the
national?
question, because my whole body shuts down when you mention it. It was the biggest, my head just flew out of my body. It was the most difficult and hardest thing. We applied for several different things that we did not get,
Huh.
and that I've gotten no to. There's not, because it's so overwhelmed, they don't really give you much of an explanation. And one of the first things was, which is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I mean, we have an amazing credit line. We don't, one of the things about, we don't have existing loans because we're self-sufficient and we pay
Right.
our bills on time. One of the banks said, because we did not have a loan with them, that we have our business checking account there, so they know exactly what's coming in and out for the last 30 years, or excuse me, 35 years. And they said, because we didn't have a loan with them, an existing loan. We've never had a loan with them. It was
Right.
just one, and it was hours and hours in confusion. I did, so a couple more things came up just recently that, and I just went ahead, now that I've done so much of the paperwork, I just went ahead and did it again, but I'm not super hopeful. Being
Mm-hmm.
able just to open and get back to work is really what is really the name of the game now. A lot of people appear to want to be shopping. People are knocking and leaving notes and want to come in.
Oh, wow. That's great.
So I think it was like 2 weeks ago that they officially allowed curbside
Pickup.
pickup.
Mm-hmm.
And so as of then, Yoko started hanging out there, throughout the day, just kind of seeing how it was going, and but not letting people in.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
so it was interesting. It's just not summer, so it's a completely different game right now. I'm super hopeful that that we will get back, by the things that will, now that it's opening, people want to shop and want to be out there. Staycations seem to be the popular thing right now, so I'm hopeful that it's just a matter of time that everybody kind of gets back on their feet. Yeah, back
It
to
reminds me a
normal.
little bit of 2008 when people couldn't really afford to travel because the stock market and the housing market and everything kind of
Right.
went kaput.
Mhm.
So in a way, not everyone has, abolished funds, but because of the COVID, they're not traveling as much. And so I could see how
No.
the staycation is definitely, and so they're like, okay, well, I want to do something to excite my life. Like, let's go shopping.
Hmm. Hmm. And so one of the things too, on June 2nd with the variants, I did read a little bit of an email a little while ago. They are going to open the streets in Capitola for outside dining. They're going to close off the Esplanade, and they're going to close off part of Monterey, but down at the bottom. And they're going to have some kind of tent arrangement, and certain tents per restaurant where they can really quick, like in the next week, they're going to have that out there.
Wow,
So
I had
by
a
the weekend of the
wow.
5th, people can have outside dining, which I think that's going to help a lot. Like I said, I walked around having a panic attack because people were eating their food on top of the meters
Yeah.
and on the pay stations. It's like, what is happening?
And then also just the amount of trash, because usually that trash is handled by the restaurants and they're busting the tables, but
Yes.
now it's like so much more like takeout type of material, and then like the trash
Hmm.
cans are probably getting full. And
They
yeah, I
are.
mean, it really depends on what county in California you're in, whether how the rules are. And so then people come here not knowing that the rules may be different than in their county, and it's just a big mess.
Hmm. Hmm. Thankfully, like in our town, a lot of the things are biodegradable, but still, you're absolutely right. The garbage cans were full.
Yeah.
I think the city will still do a good job about emptying that out, but it's the stuff that doesn't make it to the garbage cans, right? That gets thrown out
Mhm.
on their way to their cars, or
Yeah.
gets left under cars.
Well, I really like the idea of the restaurant tents. I think that'll help to bring business and people window shopping and
Yes.
all that.
Yes. At least bring that little, that relaxation vibe back.
Mm-hmm.
into
One
town,
thing,
that you're there to
one
have a
thing,
nice day.
and one thing that you could do is even have like a sign up sheet on the outside of your door, like, oh, book an appointment, and you can have like a little schedule so people can just be like, oh, I'm going to come back at this time. And, the appointment could be booked that way or something.
That's definitely part of what we're doing in the last couple of days. I'll be there on Saturday. I was there the last couple of days. Today I was in and out, and I'll be there Saturday where I can tighten that up a little bit.
Nice.
A little bit more. Oh, excuse me.
No worries.
Mm-hmm. Because the idea is that you don't have to make an appointment in advance. That it would be like there in the day. It's like they come, if we already have 2 people in the store, then we give them a slot as to when they come back that day.
Right.
It's not necessarily, I mean, you're welcome to make something in advance, but we'll do it like that on a daily. We're also, like, if that keeps picking up, which I'm hoping it will as we go along, I'm even thinking of like starting earlier in the day and working later in the day so we can fit more appointments.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
How many people can be in your shop at once? Is it one person at a time? I mean, that seems like not very many.
No. So ideally, with 2 of us working, we can have 2 separate shoppers, maybe 3. We have 3 dressing rooms, but in order for us to like be really careful. So the other thing that we're doing is we're steaming. So once a person tries on the suits, it goes into a basket. We're going to be using the UV light for sanitation, and then we'll be steaming the suits, and they're going to stay off the floor for 24 hours. So
wow.
For 2 people, it's really hard to have more than 3, and the store's fairly small because you want to be able, as a customer, you want to be able to look at the swimwear. There's so much swimwear in our store that you think you're going to miss something. That's been my experience. So we can't really have 2 because they're going to be crossing over and right on top of each other. So for us, 2 to 3 at a time is what we feel comfortable. That what we feel is we can all socially distance, we can all be safe, and we have the screens, we have the hand sanitizers, we have everything going, and we're cleaning after every person, of course.
Yeah, you never thought you needed to up your sanitation this much, did you?
No.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy.
No,
yeah,
and I loved I saw one of your videos where you had outside where they stepped in the little bleach and water. It's like, oh, I'd love to be able to do that, but I don't think they would go for it too much in the village.
Yeah, I mean, every business has to have their slightly different protocol, but for the most part, it's very much the same. The face masks, maybe the face shields, the screens like at the register, trying to do like contactless pay. So all those things. So it's just a lot for a business owner to have to put it all together so fast, but it sounds like you're working really hard to make it happen.
We started at the beginning to do little by little. It's like, I didn't want to wait. Actually April, once it hit it, I really thought that we'd be back April 7th. And once I saw that we weren't, and that Easter just flew by, it's like, oh God, no, we have to, because I thought that we'd be able to do by appointment a lot sooner. I didn't just in my own, I didn't realize what it actually was going to look like. So I started ordering everything little by little, which that's another thing. I mean, with all these grants that they're offering, they ought to give grants to the businesses to do that, because that's quite an expense.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I mean, it is unbelievable, the new equipment that you didn't know that you needed to have, like a UV light to sanitize and and the steamer to steam your clothes, and then the inventory that you don't get to have on the floor so that someone can't buy for 24 hours. I mean, that all comes at an expense. So it's like, this is definitely revolutionizing how we do things. I mean, it's really incredible.
It really is.
And people like you who are persevering, like, good on you, because it's a lot, and it's, even if you weren't in a huge car accident that caused a trauma, this is a big trauma for everybody,
Absolutely. Well, and another thing too, I'm finding that it's really hard. So I've been in my house clothes for so long that actually getting dressed and being out and working, I had a headache the other day, and I never get headaches. And I realized, I've been in my bra for way too long today. So it's going to take a little bit even to get like your brain and everything working again like it was you know, when you're working every day and moving, like the energy and everything comes. Now it's like a little foggier. It takes me a while. Somebody else say something, and then like, you know, 5 minutes, like, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you know, then I can respond to what it was,
A little
because
out of practice.
oh yeah. Do I have to listen to somebody? Excuse me.
So, what is one thing that you have learned as a result of all this that actually you feel stronger about, or like that you're like more excited about?
One thing I learned is really to, you know, this, it's so corny, but really to be kind and to find compassion for the people who want to go with the program and for the people who don't want to go to the program. To not buy into all the parent, there's a lot of, especially with the media, I'm really grateful that I have to seek out my news. I don't have standard cable, just never have, because my
Hmm.
focus is somewhere else. Because it's too much. And then
It is.
you're in this state of alarm, like constantly. For me, it's like I have my eye on the prize. This is what I do. This is what I do for a living. I love working in Capitola. I love the whole swimwear industry, being able to help people. It's just really fun. There's so many worse
Nice.
things that you can do. And so I'm just keeping focused on where I have to go, and really like not doubting that this is going to be behind us and we're going to come out of it. It may not look like it did before, but there is something else on the other end. There's not this a few people that I've talked to are like so negative and down and really depressed, and
Hmm.
I just think that when you open yourself to that, I think it's normal to have a day where you're down, but you need to push that down and keep on moving forward, because you can't believe the hype. You have to put one foot in front of the other and know that there is something. You just don't know what it's going to look like, but there's something else over there on that end, and we have to keep going towards that. You know, not
Awesome.
do your part. You know, wear your
Yep.
mask. If you don't want to wear a mask in your personal private environment, then don't wear a mask. But if you're going to come shopping into a public place that wants you to wear a mask, wear a mask. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. You're making the choice to go out and to interact. So then you got to do what you got to
Absolutely.
do.
And it's not our fault that, especially like with small businesses, these are the rules for us to be able to do a small amount of business.
I know. It's not very
So
much. Yeah.
yeah, we didn't make the rules, but if it's going to keep us all safe, that's what we have to do, or shop online. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, what else to say about that, but
So what are your hours now?
so we're starting out 11 to 5. Hi
Okay.
there. We're going to work 11 to 5 and then play it from there. Normally we've been 10 to 7, but 11 to 5 sounds good until we get going. And then the thought is, as appointments and that starts coming, maybe on weekends, going from 9 to 7 again. Once we
Yeah.
see bodies coming back into town and needing to come in.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting what they do with the beach closures and how that's going to affect Capitola and Santa Cruz and the businesses.
Well, there's still all of the vacation rentals.
Oh man, yeah.
Right? So if people start
Mhm.
using the vacation rentals again, which is usually what fills up Capitola Village, there are hikes that you can do, and there are
Mhm.
wonderful parks in our area that you can
Absolutely.
still take advantage of. So let's
That's
hope.
true. I
Hmm.
know. Yeah, I mean, even if you can't go on the beach, you can see the beach.
And you can walk on it briskly after 5 o'clock,
There you go. With
before
no
11
sitting.
and after 5.
They can go shopping from 11 to 5.
Yes, ma'am. Hmm.
So the best place to get in touch with you would be at Nubia Swimwear on Instagram, and then you have a website too?
Yeah, nubiaswimwear.com. It's a lookbook, but you also have the ability to email us there. Call us at 831-476-2027. But probably the best place is going to be Instagram now.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, Sandi, so much for joining us. Again, the shop is
Jamie,
at
thank
202
you.
202 Capitola Avenue in Capitola Village, and it's Nubia Swimwear. And we are rooting for you. And this is a great place for locals and for visitors alike to come get their swimwear needs.
Thank you.
Awesome.
We'll talk again soon. Take care.
Yeah, until next time, thanks for joining us on Zoom Around Town.